Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, welcome. My name is Loretta. In today's video, I am going to be making some tomato rice. Now, normally when I would cook rice, I would just boil it in water, and I thought that I could do a little bit better than that, so I started going down the YouTube rabbit hole and researching and checking out different videos where people were elevating their rice. So that's exactly what I am doing here. So first thing that I'm doing is I'm just chopping up an onion into pretty small pieces. The onion, as it cooks, will get smaller, so I'm not really too concerned about the pieces being too big. And then I am crushing some garlic. So I just peel, well, actually, you don't necessarily even need to peel it really. You can just crush it and then chop it up. And I am chopping that up pretty small as well. And just like little pieces like this. And first, what I'm going to do is cook my onion in a rather large pot. Okay, and I am using avocado oil, so use some type of fat to fry your onions or saute your onions and garlic. You can put anything else in there too. I did make this dish again and I actually chopped up some carrot and put that in. But for this one, I'm just putting the onion that I chopped and cook that down just a little bit, and then I'm going to add the garlic. I use avocado oil because it has a high smoking point, and so I use that in quite a bit of my cooking. I do use olive oil as well, but I mostly use olive oil as a garnish. I also use butter, depending on what I'm cooking. Butter and salt make everything amazing. So that's my advice when you're cooking, use butter and salt. Just going to give it a little stir and mix my ingredients together. And now I am just putting in my garlic and I'm going to mix those two together. So I actually ended up using the wrong size pot. I have a pot that is bigger than this that fits, the lid fits on it perfectly, and I only have one lid. So this particular pot doesn't have a lid, but that is fine. It worked anyways. So now I'm just chopping up my pork. So this is a rather fatty piece of pork. So when I put it in the pan to saute it, I am not going to put any fat, any oil or butter or anything like that because it won't stick to the bottom because of the amount of fat that's on it. This is a pork shoulder. I got two rather large pieces, and I don't know the exact weight, but I know that it was under $10. So when I saw it at the grocery store, I decided to pick that up and knew that I would use it for something. I'm just seasoning my pork with some salt and pepper, and I am going to throw it in my pan and let that cook while I work on the rest. Oh, I have two different types of salt. I have rock salt in my salt shaker, and then I have this pink salt. So I decided to use that because I like I like that salt for when I'm cooking, and I use the other salt for after to salt my food when I'm eating. So our onions are looking really nice. This is where they are at now, and I am going to be adding my tomatoes. So these are San Marzano tomatoes. These are quite pricey. I do pick these up at my discount grocery store for $5.99 a tin, but I just really love the flavor of these tomatoes. You do not have to spend $6 on a can of tomatoes. You can certainly buy a cheaper can, but these are from Italy and I really, really like the flavor. And I can get quite a bit out of this can, um, like a lot of portions. So for me, it's worth it. And there's just certain things that I like to spend a little bit more money on, and it is still cheaper than eating out. So that's how I look at it. There's the can there. San Marzano, they're called. If you haven't tried these tomatoes, give them a try. They are very delicious. I'm adding in a little bit of tomato paste. I wouldn't say half of the can. I would say about 25% of the can, maybe a little bit more. And just incorporating all of those ingredients together, giving it a good stir. Going to be adding my rice very shortly. Oh yes, I decided to have a glass of wine when I was cooking. I am not putting the wine in the mixture. I'm actually drinking the wine. It felt like the thing to do at the time, so that's what I did. I'm just in the background there. I'm just stirring my pork and getting any little bits that have stuck to the bottom, which isn't a lot. Like I said, it's a very quite a fatty piece, so I didn't put any fat in the pan. I'm adding my rice. I did rinse my rice under cold water. This is 1 cup that I'm using. I've never actually rinsed my rice before, but when I was watching videos, it seems to be the thing to do. People are rinsing their rice first. So that is what I did. Just rinsed it under some cold water, throwing it in the pot and stirring it together with the tomato mixture. So I haven't really been cooking or being very experimental with cooking, and I did not know that you could add other liquids besides water. So what do you know? You can with your rice. And so this is stock. I don't actually make the stock. John makes the stock. He's the stock maker in this household. So this is chicken bones and vegetable scraps, and he makes big pots of it, and we freeze it. And so I used a cup and a half of that stock, and I am just mixing it all together, lowering the temperature to low, and then covering it. Gonna give my pork a little bit of a stir. Looks like it's almost ready. And the pork can be undercooked just slightly as well, because I'm going to be adding it to the rice, so it will cook even more in there. After 15 minutes, I am looking at my rice and realize that at this point, it could definitely use more liquid. So I didn't really measure how much, but I added about a half a cup of stock. So moving forward next time, I will definitely add 2 cups of liquid to 1 cup of rice. And also, the tomatoes make liquid as well. Normally, when I cook rice and water, for every 1 cup, I use a cup and a half. For every 1 cup of rice, I use a cup and a half of water. But in this case, I used 2 cups of stock. When I made it the second time, I put in 2 cups of stock right off the bat. And I did have to cook it for longer. I cooked the rice for about 30 minutes on the stovetop. All right, I am giving this another little stir after cooking it for a little bit longer with more stock added, and the aroma was so good. It smelled amazing. I wish that you could smell it too. I also had to change because I was getting really hot in the kitchen, so I changed. I'm adding my pork now. I'm just going to put that all in there, and I got a spatula and got all the little bits from the bottom and that extra fat from the pork, because fat is flavor. This was quite easy to make, especially when I made it the second time. It was just so much faster, and I don't know, for some reason I thought that flavored rice was going to be super long and hard to make, and it's not. So give it a try. I got quite a few meals out of this. This is a great way to save your money if you are trying to cut back. Absolutely delicious and easy, and the ingredients are not expensive. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and also please consider subscribing to my channel if you like this type of content, cooking and ways to save money. Thanks again, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.